G'day. Today, I want to talk about the power of zero expectations, whether you're giving or receiving. Gary Vaynerchuk, who I know a lot of you know and follow, has said for a long time that the key to happiness is having zero expectations. And I've often thought about that and thought, well, that's easy in theory, but it's very hard to do. Because of course we all have expectations of every interaction, every relationship, every situation. But the interesting thing is, the more that I've been giving of my time, particularly in advice, the more I've come to understand exactly how powerful having zero expectations is. Because initially when I was offering these calls, I would go into these calls always expecting something. I was always expecting that the person receiving the call would be appreciative of my time and my advice. But that wasn't always the case. Sometimes they were upset with my advice because they didn't agree with it. And they went into the call with the expectation that I was going to give positive feedback on their thing. But of course, if I come in giving negative feedback, for good intentions, for sure, just to try and help them with their business, no ulterior motives or anything like that, they were disappointed, they were upset because they didn't get what they expected. I then became upset because I didn't get what I expected. I expected them to be super grateful and say, oh, gee, Trent, you're great. But they didn't. And so the expectations on both sides were not met. And as a result, we both came away from that interaction disappointed. These days, I'm going into these calls a lot more with zero expectations. I don't expect anybody to be grateful for me giving up my time to have a chat. Why should I? Who am I to say you should be respectful of my time? I think you should. I think everybody should be respectful of everybody's time. But if you're not, that's okay. And whether you like what I say or not, that also doesn't bother me. I don't care if you don't like what I say. I'm still going to say what I think I need to say. I'm having zero expectations also as to whether people are going to hit me up during these calls for a hard sell. You know, will you buy my product? Will you put it in your spas? That's okay too, because I'm trying to go into these conversations with zero expectations. And it's actually true what Gary says. If you can go in with zero expectations, whether you're giving or receiving, it actually puts you in a pretty good place. Doesn't matter what happens during that call because you had zero expectations. People don't disappoint you, I guess, if you have zero expectations. The situation doesn't disappoint if you have zero expectations. So, for all those people that have heard Gary say things like this over the years, I just want to say, as somebody who has been progressively, slowly, subconsciously, I guess, even learning it, that having zero expectations, whether you're giving or receiving, is actually a pretty good thing. Alrighty, that is it for today. I do thank you for your time, and I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.